What if I told you the most shocking comeback in automotive history isn't electric, it's a four-door V16? Because the 2026-27 Cadillac V16 isn't just breaking expectations, it's rewriting them. You're watching Premium Automotive Reviews, where we don't just talk about cars, we decode what they mean for the future. And trust me, this one, you'll want to stay all the way through. Because there's something hidden beneath this luxury monster that completely changes how we think about performance and prestige. At first glance, the presence hits you harder than anything else. This isn't just a sedan, it's a statement. The front fascia is aggressive but controlled, with a massive sculpted grille that feels more architectural than automotive. The lighting signature is razor sharp, almost like it's staring straight through you, with vertical LED blades that stretch downward in a way that makes older luxury cars instantly feel outdated. And then you notice the detailing: carbon fiber textures blended with deep metallic finishes, gold accents that don't feel flashy but intentional, like a modern interpretation of old school opulence. Walk around it, and the proportions tell a deeper story. It's long, low, and wide, but not in a way that screams sports car. It whispers authority. The wheels are oversized, intricately designed, filling the arches perfectly, while the body lines flow like liquid metal. And here's where things get interesting: every vent, every crease, every surface isn't just for looks. There's real aerodynamic thinking here, shaping airflow in ways that make this heavy luxury machine move like something much lighter. And then you step inside, and everything changes. This is where Cadillac makes its boldest statement. The cabin doesn't feel like a car interior. It feels like a private lounge engineered for motion. The materials are on another level: stitched leather, real carbon trim, brushed metals. But it's how they're integrated that matters. Nothing feels separate. It's all one continuous design language, flowing from the dashboard into the doors, into the seats, the screens. Seamless. The central display blends into the instrument cluster, creating a wide digital canvas that responds instantly to your touch, your voice, even your habits. And yes, there's AI here, but not the gimmicky kind. This system learns how you drive, how you sit, what temperature you prefer, what music you play at certain times. It adapts quietly, in the background, making the car feel like it understands you rather than just serving you. But here's something you might not expect. Despite all this futuristic tech, it still feels incredibly human. The steering wheel has weight. The controls have tactile feedback. Even the ambient lighting isn't just decoration. It subtly shifts based on driving mode, time of day, even your mood settings. Now let's talk about what really makes this car controversial: that V16 badge. In a world rushing toward electrification, Cadillac does something unexpected. This isn't just about nostalgia. It's about redefining performance. The V16 here isn't raw, chaotic power like the past. It's refined, controlled, almost silent when cruising, but unleash it. And there's a depth to the sound that you simply don't get from smaller engines. And here's the twist: it's not alone. There are strong hints of hybrid integration, meaning instant torque meets traditional power. The result: acceleration that feels effortless, almost unnatural for a car of this size. It doesn't launch, it glides forward with authority. The ride quality: this is where it separates itself completely. Advanced suspension systems read the road in real time, adjusting before you even feel a bump. It's smooth when you want comfort, firm when you want control. It adapts, constantly. So whether you're cruising through the city or pushing it on open roads, the experience remains perfectly balanced. And safety: this is where the future really shows up. The car is packed with advanced driver assistance systems that don't just react, they predict. Lane changes feel guided. Parking feels effortless, and long drives become less tiring, because the car is always quietly supporting you. There's even a level of semi-autonomous capability that lets you step back, just enough to relax, without ever feeling disconnected. But let's bring it back to real life for a second. Because this isn't just a showpiece. It's a four-door, which means practicality still matters. There's real space here, generous legroom, supportive seating, a trunk that handles more than just weekend bags. It's designed for people who want luxury without sacrificing usability. And that raises a bigger question: who is this car actually for? It's not for someone chasing trends. It's for someone who understands legacy, but wants to live in the future. Someone who appreciates craftsmanship, but demands innovation. Someone who doesn't just want to drive, but wants to arrive with presence. Because when you compare it emotionally to everything else out there, this doesn't feel like just another luxury sedan. It feels like a bridge between eras. Old world power meets new world intelligence. Classic prestige meets future-ready technology. And maybe that's the real story here. While most cars are choosing one direction, electric or traditional, minimal or extravagant, this car refuses to choose. It blends everything into one bold identity. So as you're watching this, ask yourself, is this the last great evolution of the luxury performance sedan, or the beginning of something entirely new? Because the 2026-27 Cadillac V16 doesn't just move you physically, it shifts your expectations. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another car review. This is a glimpse into where automotive design, power, and intelligence are heading next. If you enjoyed breaking this down with me, drop your thoughts below. Would you take this over a fully electric future? And of course, stay connected with premium automotive reviews for more deep dives like this. Where we don't just look at cars, we decode what they mean for the future. And trust me, you'll want to stay locked in, because there are details hidden in this machine that most people will completely miss at first glance. The first thing that hits you is the stance. Low, impossibly wide, and sculpted with the kind of aggression that feels almost alive. This isn't just a redesign from Chevrolet. It's a complete rethinking of what a Corvette should look like in the next era. The front fascia is razor sharp, with deeply cut air intakes that don't just exist for style. They're clearly engineered to channel airflow with surgical precision. The lighting signature is slimmer, more focused, almost predatory. It doesn't just see the road, it locks onto it. And then there's the side profile. Notice how every line seems to be pulled tight, like tension stored in metal. The sculpted doors, those aggressive side intakes, and the dramatic wheel arches create this sense that the car is always in motion, even when it's standing still. The wheels themselves are oversized, almost concept-like, but they don't feel exaggerated. They feel necessary, like they're barely containing what's underneath. But it's the rear where things get truly wild. Those angular LED taillights, the deep vents, the layered diffuser, it all screams performance, but not in a loud or chaotic way. It's calculated, controlled. And that central design language hints at something deeper, something we'll get to when we talk about performance. Step inside, and suddenly the intensity transforms into something far more refined. This is where the Zora stops trying to intimidate you and starts trying to impress you. The cabin feels driver-focused, but not cramped. Clean lines, premium materials, and a layout that blends digital precision with physical control. The steering wheel feels like command central, while the digital cluster and infotainment system stretch across the dash in a way that feels futuristic, but still intuitive. Look closer, and you'll notice the subtle details. Ambient lighting that shifts with driving modes. A center console that feels sculpted rather than assembled. And that infotainment display, it's not just a screen, it's a control hub. Navigation, performance data, connectivity, it all flows seamlessly. Almost like the car is anticipating what you want before you touch anything. And here's where things get interesting. This isn't just about luxury or tech for the sake of it. There's a growing sense that the Zora is integrating intelligence into the driving experience itself. We're talking about AI, assisted systems that learn your driving style, adaptive performance settings that evolve over time, and over-the-air updates that ensure the car never really stays the same. Now let's talk about what's hiding beneath all that sculpted metal, because this is where the Zora starts to separate itself from everything else on the road. There's strong speculation, and it's hard to ignore based on the design cues, that this car is embracing a hybrid performance setup. Not as a compromise, but as an enhancement. Imagine instant electric torque paired with a high-output combustion engine, delivering power in a way that feels both brutal and effortless. And the way that power is delivered, that's the real story. This isn't just about speed in a straight line. It's about control, precision, the kind of handling that makes you feel connected to every inch of the road. Advanced suspension systems, intelligent all-wheel drive, and real-time adjustments that keep the car balanced no matter how aggressively you push it. But here's a question worth asking. Can something this extreme still be usable every day? Surprisingly, the answer seems to be yes. The cabin doesn't feel like a stripped-out race car. There's comfort here, space, practical touches that make long drives not just possible, but enjoyable. Storage is cleverly integrated, visibility feels improved, and the overall ergonomics suggest that this isn't just a weekend toy. It's a machine you could genuinely live with. And when it comes to safety, the Zora doesn't fall behind. Advanced driver assistance systems are seamlessly integrated, not intrusive. Lane guidance, adaptive cruise control, collision avoidance. They're all here, but they work in the background, enhancing confidence without taking away control. It feels like the car is watching out for you, not replacing you. What really sets this apart, though, is how it makes you feel. There are faster cars, there are more expensive cars, but very few manage to blend heritage, innovation, and raw emotion like this. The Zora doesn't just compete. It redefines what it means to be in this category. It's not trying to copy the future, it's trying to lead it. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway. This isn't just the next Corvette. It's a statement. A signal that the line between supercar and hypercar is starting to blur, and that American engineering is ready to stand right at the center of that shift. So the real question is this the car that finally changes how the world sees Corvette forever? Because from where I'm sitting, the 2026-27 Zora doesn't feel like a new model. It feels like a glimpse into what driving will become. If you felt that shift too, you already know what to do. Drop your thoughts below. What if I told you the legend you thought you knew just got completely rewritten, and the 2026-27 Ford Mustang GT350 might be the most shocking transformation in Mustang history? The moment you lay eyes on it, something feels different. Not just evolution, but intention. This isn't just another fast Mustang, it feels like a statement. And here, on Premium Automotive Reviews, where we don't just look at cars but decode what they truly represent. This one demands your full attention, because there are details hiding in plain sight that completely change how you see performance cars going forward. At first glance, it still carries the DNA of the Ford Mustang, but everything has been sharpened, tightened, and pushed into the future. The stance is lower, wider, and more aggressive. Like it's gripping the road even while standing still. That deep metallic red finish flows over sculpted lines that don't just look dramatic, they serve purpose. Air channels carved into the hood. Sharper LED signatures slicing through the front, and a front fascia that feels more like a supercar than a traditional muscle car. And then your eyes move to the details you almost miss at first. The aerodynamic elements are no longer add-ons, they're integrated into the identity. That massive rear wing isn't just for show, it tells you this car was engineered for serious downforce. The quad exhaust layout, the aggressive diffuser, the way the rear lights pulse with a futuristic signature. It all feels like a bridge between classic American muscle and something far more advanced. But here's where things start getting really interesting. Step inside, and the transformation becomes undeniable. The interior doesn't just upgrade, it redefines expectations. Gone is the purely analog feel. In its place, a driver-focused cockpit that blends performance with technology in a way that feels seamless. The digital instrument cluster adapts to your driving mode, almost like the car is reading your intentions. The central infotainment display sits confidently in the dash, offering a clean, intuitive interface that doesn't distract, it enhances. You start to notice the materials. Soft, touch surfaces, precision stitching, subtle ambient lighting that changes tone depending on the mood of the drive. It feels premium, but not overdone. It still reminds you that this is a driver's car. The steering wheel, perfectly contoured, almost invites you to push harder. And that's exactly what this GT350 wants. And then there's the intelligence behind it all. This isn't just a fast car, it's a smart one. Advanced driver assistance systems quietly work in the background, offering a level of confidence that older performance cars never had. Adaptive cruise, lane positioning, predictive safety systems. It's like having a co-pilot that never oversteps but is always ready. But let's talk about what really defines a GT350, the performance. Because this is where expectations get flipped. You might be expecting raw, old-school aggression, and yes, that's still here, but now it's paired with precision. The next generation powertrain feels more responsive, more controlled, almost surgical in how it delivers power. Whether it's an evolved high, revving V8 or a hybrid, assisted setup pushing performance boundaries, the result is the same instant response, relentless acceleration, and a soundtrack that still gives you chills. But the real story isn't just speed, it's how this car moves. The suspension feels alive, constantly adapting to the road beneath you. Corners aren't something you approach cautiously, they're something you attack with confidence. The chassis feels tighter, more balanced, like every input you make is translated instantly into motion. And here's something that might surprise you. Despite all this performance, it hasn't forgotten how to be usable. This is still a car you can live with. The cabin is comfortable enough for longer drives, the tech keeps you connected, and there's a practicality here that older high-performance Mustangs didn't always prioritize. It's almost like this GT350 is trying to be everything at once, and somehow, it works. But what really sets it apart isn't just what it does, it's how it makes you feel. There's a confidence here. A sense that you're driving something engineered, not just for today, but for what performance cars are becoming. And that raises an interesting question. Is this still a muscle car? Or is it something entirely new? Because when you compare it emotionally to what came before, the difference is clear. Older models were about raw power and attitude. This one still has that, but now it's layered with intelligence, precision, and a kind of refinement that changes the experience completely. This isn't just for the traditional Mustang enthusiast anymore. It's for drivers who want performance without compromise, people who want excitement, but also technology, power, but also control. A car that feels just as comfortable on a weekend blast as it does pulling into a high-end event. And that's why the 2026-27 GT350 feels so important. It's not just continuing a legacy, it's redefining it, because what you're looking at isn't just the next Mustang. It's a glimpse into where performance cars are heading. A future where power meets intelligence, where design meets purpose, and where driving becomes something more immersive than ever before. And once you see it that way, you can't unsee it. If this is the direction things are going, then the GT350 isn't just keeping up, it's leading. And now I want to know, does this feel like the future of muscle to you? Or does it change what a Mustang should be? What if the next Corvette doesn't just push boundaries, but completely erases them? The 2026-27 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X isn't just faster or sharper. It feels like something engineered from a different era. And once you see what it's capable of, everything you thought you knew about performance cars starts to feel outdated. Right from the first glance, there's an intensity that's impossible to ignore. And here on Premium Automotive Reviews, where we go deeper than just surface impressions, this is exactly the kind of machine that demands a closer look, because hidden within its design and technology are details that completely change how you understand modern performance. The body looks less like it was designed, and more like it was sculpted by airflow itself. Every angle, every edge, every vent serves a purpose. The front end sits incredibly low, almost hugging the ground, with sharp, angular lighting that cuts through the air like a blade. Those dramatic LED signatures don't just look futuristic, they signal intent. This car isn't here to blend in. As your eyes move across the body, the complexity reveals itself. Massive air channels carved into the sides, aggressive carbon fiber elements layered seamlessly into the design, and a stance that feels wide enough to dominate any road or track. And then you reach the rear, arguably the most striking angle. The lighting is bold, geometric, unmistakably modern, while the central exhaust layout and deep diffuser hint at something far more serious beneath the surface. But here's where it starts to shift from impressive to extraordinary. Step inside, and you realize this isn't just a driver's cabin, it's a command center. The interior of the Chevrolet Corvette lineage has always been focused, but this takes it to another level. The cockpit wraps around you, placing every control exactly where instinct expects it to be. The digital displays are crisp, responsive, and intelligently arranged, giving you everything you need without overwhelming you. There's a sense of purpose in every detail. Premium materials meet performance, focused design, with carbon fiber accents, sculpted seats, and a layout that feels both futuristic and familiar. Ambient lighting subtly enhances the atmosphere, shifting tones depending on the driving mode, creating a connection between the car and the driver that feels almost alive. And then there's the intelligence behind it all. This isn't just a fast car, it's a smart one. Advanced AI systems work quietly in the background, learning your driving habits, adapting throttle response, suspension behavior, and even cabin settings to suit your style. Over-the-air updates mean this car won't stay the same, it evolves, it gets better, it learns. But let's be honest. None of that matters if it doesn't deliver where it counts. And this is where the ZR1X changes everything. The performance here isn't just about raw numbers. It's about how that power is delivered. Whether it's a next-generation twin, turbo setup, electrified assistance, or a combination of both, the result is immediate. Relentless acceleration that feels almost unreal. There's no hesitation, no lag, just pure, controlled force pushing you forward. But what truly separates this car is its balance. The way it handles corners, the way it grips the road, the way it responds to even the smallest input, it feels precise, almost surgical. The suspension adapts in real time, reading the road beneath you and adjusting instantly, giving you confidence at speeds that would feel intimidating in anything else. And yet, despite all this performance, it doesn't forget about usability. That's something older high-performance machines often struggled with. They demanded compromises. This one doesn't. The cabin remains comfortable. The technology keeps you connected, and the overall experience feels refined enough for everyday driving, if you choose to use it that way. Safety, too, has evolved. Advanced driver assistance systems operate seamlessly, offering support without taking away control. It's a balance between human and machine, where the car enhances your abilities rather than replacing them. And this leads to a bigger realization. The 2026-27 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X isn't just competing with what came before. It's redefining what comes next. It blurs the line between supercar and hypercar, between tradition and innovation, between raw emotion and calculated precision. So who is this really for? It's for drivers who refuse to settle. For those who want more than just speed, more than just design. It's for people who want an experience that feels ahead of its time. Something that doesn't just perform, but evolves. Because when you compare it to older generations, the difference becomes clear. Those cars were about power and presence. This one is about intelligence, connection, and control. It's not just reacting to the road, it's anticipating it. And that changes everything. As you watch it move, as the light reflects across its sharp surfaces, as every detail comes together into one cohesive vision, you start to understand what this car truly represents. Not just the next Corvette, but the future of performance itself. And once you see that future, it's impossible to ignore. So the real question is, has the Corvette just reached its peak? Or is this only the beginning of something even bigger? What if everything you thought you knew about luxury cars was just reset overnight, because the all-new 2026-27 Cadillac Fleetwood has arrived? And it's not just an upgrade, it feels like a warning shot to the entire industry. Welcome back to Premium Automotive Reviews, where we don't just look at cars, we decode them. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me on this one, because there are details hidden in this Fleetwood that completely change how you see modern luxury. At first glance, it's the presence that hits you. Low, wide, and impossibly clean. This doesn't look like something designed for today's roads. It looks like it was pulled straight out of the future. The front end carries that iconic Cadillac DNA, but everything has been sharpened, refined, and pushed to a level we haven't seen before. That massive vertical grille isn't just bold anymore. It's almost architectural, like the centerpiece of a moving sculpture. And then your eyes lock onto the lighting. Ultra slim, blade-like LEDs that don't just illuminate the road. They define the car's entire personality. There's a precision here, a confidence, like the car knows exactly what it is. And here's something most people miss, the way those lights integrate into the body. It's not just design. It's aerodynamics working quietly in the background. As you move along the side profile, the story evolves. The lines are minimal, but intentional. There's tension in the surfaces, subtle reflections that shift as the light moves across the body. The roofline flows effortlessly into the rear, creating a silhouette that feels both elegant and aggressive at the same time. And those wheels, they're not just large, they're statement pieces. Intricate, almost futuristic, perfectly filling the arches and anchoring the car to the ground. But it's at the rear where the emotion really builds. Vertical taillights, a signature that traces back through Cadillac history, but here they've been reimagined in a way that feels almost digital. Clean, sharp, unmistakable. The rear stance is wide and planted, with subtle aerodynamic elements that hint at performance without shouting about it. It's restrained, but powerful. And just when you think you've understood the car from the outside, you step inside, and everything changes. This isn't just an interior, it's an experience. A seamless blend of technology and craftsmanship that immediately pulls you in. The dashboard is dominated by a wide, continuous display that stretches across your field of vision, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels natural, like it belongs there. The materials tell their own story. Soft, touch surfaces, precision, cut metals. Ambient lighting that wraps around the cabin in a subtle, almost cinematic glow. It's not trying to impress you with noise, it impresses you with detail. The seats are sculpted, supportive, but incredibly comfortable. Whether you're sitting in traffic or cruising for hours, this is a space designed to make time feel different. And here's where things get even more interesting. The car doesn't just respond to you, it learns you. An advanced AI system quietly observes your preferences. It adjusts climate, seating position, lighting, even driving behavior over time. Imagine getting into your car, and everything is already exactly how you like it, without touching a single button. That's the level this Fleetwood is playing at. The infotainment system feels less like a system, and more like an ecosystem. Everything is connected. Navigation, entertainment, vehicle settings, all flowing together seamlessly. And with over-the-air updates, this car doesn't stay the same. It evolves. New features, refinements, improvements. It keeps getting better long after you've driven it home. Now let's talk about performance. Because this is where expectations completely shift. This next generation Fleetwood isn't chasing old school horsepower wars. Instead, it embraces a new kind of power. Electrified, smooth, immediate. The kind of acceleration that doesn't scream, it surges. Effortless, controlled, almost silent, but undeniably strong. And the way it delivers that power is what really stands out. There's no hesitation, no lag, just instant response. Whether you're merging onto a highway or accelerating out of a corner, it feels like the car is always ready. The ride quality takes things even further. Advanced suspension systems constantly read the road, adjusting in real time to keep everything balanced. You feel connected, but never uncomfortable. It's that rare combination of comfort and control that defines true luxury driving. Safety here isn't just about protection, it's about awareness. The car is constantly scanning its surroundings, anticipating potential risks before they happen. Driver assistance systems work quietly in the background, stepping in only when needed. And with evolving semi-autonomous capabilities, you're not just driving, you're working with the car. But here's the part that really matters. How does it fit into everyday life? Surprisingly, this futuristic machine is incredibly usable. The cabin is spacious, thoughtfully designed, with storage exactly where you expect it to be. Long drives feel effortless. Daily commutes feel elevated. It doesn't ask you to adapt to it, it adapts to you. And emotionally, this is where the Fleetwood truly separates itself. So many modern cars feel like tools. Efficient, capable, but lacking soul. This feels different. It feels alive. It connects with you in a way that reminds you why cars matter. So who is this for? It's for someone who wants more than just transportation. Someone who values design, innovation, and experience. Someone who doesn't just want to keep up with the future, they want to arrive there first. And when you step back and really take it all in, you realize something important. This isn't just a new model, it's a direction, a signal of where luxury is heading. Less noise, more intelligence. Less excess, more purpose. The 2026-27 Cadillac Fleetwood, doesn't just carry a legendary name. It redefines what that name means in a modern world. And honestly, it leaves you with one question: if this is the future, are we ready for it? If you enjoyed this deep dive, stay connected with premium automotive reviews, because this is just the beginning of what's coming next.